Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richie Kicks, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on Donte DiVincenzo's third shoe with Anta Zap 3. Before we get started, if y'all enjoy sneaker content just like this, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. Also, if you did want to buy a pair of the Zap 3s, I will leave an affiliate link in the description box below. If you do purchase through that link, it does help me out directly, which is very much appreciated. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Zap 3 features like this kind of like herringbone like traction pattern with a semi-translucent rubber outsole. And how does this perform? Honestly, I thought it was pretty good. On clean courts, you're gonna have a very good bite. This thing is tacky, stops extremely hard on those clean courts, and yeah, you're not gonna have any issues. If you are playing on dust, obviously you can see this thing does collect dust. You will have to do the wipe every so often just to try to clear off any dust that does kind of get stuck onto the outsole. If you do let that dust accumulate, the worst that ever happened to me was a small slide to a stop. I never completely slid out or anything, which is good. Basically, the same thing happened on my most dusty courts. Same deal, you just gotta wipe. Obviously, I had to wipe a little bit more frequently on my dustier courts, but overall, the traction performance still is pretty good as long as you wipe. And if you don't, like I said, you'll slide to a stop. So yeah, overall traction performance was pretty good. You just gotta make sure you do the wiping on your dustier courts. Otherwise, you might slide here and there. So moving on to the cushion, the Zap 3 features what I believe is a full-length A-Shock Pro foam. At least that's what it says right here. Kickzone actually sent these to me, and didn't really have too much detail about the shoe. So yeah, I'm going to assume that this is full-length A-Shock Pro. And how does it feel? Honestly, it's very comfortable. In the heel, even though this is partially caged by the rubber and stuff, you still get a nice compression. It's nice and soft. I will say that you can sometimes feel the foam kind of bottom out if you're landing very hard. Same goes for the forefoot. I will say that it does thin out just a little bit, so you feel a little bit more responsive, quick on your feet, but it's still very comfortable. I wouldn't say that this has the best court feel and responsiveness, but I still felt plenty quick in this shoe. So yeah, you just got to keep in mind, you might experience some shock to your joints if you're doing super hard landings. But for me, I didn't really have that problem too much because that doesn't really happen to me. And overall, it just felt like a very fluid and soft, very comfortable foam setup. So yeah, personally, I did really like these. If you are a heavier player, you might want to watch out because you might bottom out the cushion more than me, and that might lead to a little bit of discomfort. So moving on to the materials, I'm not actually sure what type of material this is. I feel like this is some sort of mesh or EM, something along the lines of that. It's definitely that type of textile upper. And how does it feel? I mean, to the touch, it doesn't feel like the best in terms of quality, but in terms of the performance, it gets the job done just fine. I didn't have any issues with the materials. You basically have this textile material wrapping around the entire shoe. Moving to the tongue, you do have this mesh tongue. And I wouldn't say this is heavily padded or anything, but even though it isn't heavily padded, if you do like to crank down your laces, you really won't feel the laces digging into the top of your foot, which is nice. Besides the textile, you do have some fuse overlays around the toe box area, and I guess kind of around where the eyelets are on the shoe, just for added durability. But yeah, overall, from a material standpoint, like I said, not the best in terms of the quality, but in terms of the performance, it does get the job done very well. So moving on to the fit, personally, I am a slightly wide footer and I went true to size and I felt fine. I didn't feel any narrowness up in the forefoot area. I felt pretty good actually. I didn't have any dead space up in the toe box area. This does have a one booty upper, which gives you as close of a one-to-one fit as possible. So yeah, I mean, this shoe fit my foot very nicely. It felt very comfortable. If you have really wide feet, maybe go up a half size. I'm not really sure, but I do think that most people should be good going true to size. And overall, yeah, the fit in the Zap 3 was very good. So moving on to the support, personally, I had zero issues with the support in the Zap 3. You do have an internal heel counter. You do have this external heel counter as well. You have some heel sculpting in the back area, but yeah, I didn't have any heel slippage. Heel containment was perfectly fine for me. No issues there whatsoever. Side-to-side movement on the footbed, I was covered there as well. The materials do a great job of making sure your foot is nice and planted on this footbed. And also you do kind of sit inside of this TPU piece right here just a little bit, which basically acts as, kind of like a small sidewall for your foot, just so you aren't sliding around. When it comes to hard lateral movements, you're gonna be covered there as well. This is a fairly wide base, but it does kind of protrude a little bit over here. So yeah, you're not gonna be rolling over on those hard lateral movements, step backs, crosses, whatever you want. And then when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, you're covered there as well. You can twist and turn this shoe just a little bit, but it's still more than enough support. You do have this carbon plate right here. I wouldn't say this is like full length, but it is kind of almost full length. It does go into the back a little bit and it goes into the forefoot quite a bit. So yeah, supporting the shoe, perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues. So the Zap 3 retails for $130 or $129. And for that price, I will say that this is a solid shoe. I actually really like playing in these, and this is something that's been in my bag ever since I received them. Like I already mentioned, Kicks Own sent these out to me. I did not pay for these, but just keep in mind that these thoughts are my own, whether they're good or bad or whatever. But yeah, these are actually a very fun shoe to play in for me. I've been playing in the Anta shoes that I have, which are the Kai 1 and the Zap 3 and the Kai 2, which is coming in soon. So I'll be playing in those. But yeah, for 130 bucks, this is another solid offering from, an overseas company who's kind of showing, the US companies kind of how it's done. Yeah, great performer. Like I said, pretty much the only one thing that I could really complain about this is the traction on dustier course. You just gotta wipe more often. But besides that, super fun, pretty damn light as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Donte DiVincenzo fan or anything like that, but his shoe, the Zap 3, is actually extremely fun to play in. So yes, I would highly recommend you all go pick up a pair. If you did want to buy a pair of these, like I said, I'll leave that link for you down in the description box below. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If y'all like this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button for me. Those really do help me out. Check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.